let's talk about a game that I am having a lot of fun with, Rise of the Ronin for PlayStation 5. Now this game, it's getting a lot of hate, man. It's getting a lot of backlash for its graphics or its gaming mechanics aren't of 2024 standards, and I'm here to tell you, if you like samurais and Japan and open world fighting action adventure games, you're gonna like this game. First of all, look at this intro. This is insanity. This is the stuff I like. I like gaming intros, and this intro is one of the best intros I've ever seen in a video game. It sums up the entire Bakumatsu era of Japan, and it kind of makes you just want to be in the world after you look at it. And that's one of the reasons I like this game, because I just like, sometimes games don't have to have a whole lot of anything new. They just have to do what we already have right. And they have to, sometimes games are made for certain kinds of people and certain kinds of gamers. And sometimes games come out that are like, damn, this was made for me. Rise of the Ronin was made for a person like me. I love everything about it. I even love the graphics because I'm familiar with Team Ninja games. This is how they look. And to me, it looks amazing because I remember playing Team Ninja games when they were on, Xbox and, PlayStation 2. And like, I remember how far the graphics have come from that point to this point. And the graphics back then were immensely impressive to me. I always liked the aesthetic that Team Ninja brings. So I love this game. And that's basically it in a nutshell. Go get it. If this is what you're into, what you see, go get it. Go get it. When I started the game, I realized you can customize your character, like completely. I wasn't sure with the depth of it. So you already know, I made Yasuke the Black Samurai. Look at this dude. Like, that right there sold me. And you make two characters in this game. You can make, a male and a female. I think you can make male and male, female, female, whatever you want to do. But I made Olu, the other character. So I got my characters from my comic series, Yasuke the Black Samurai. And I get to play them out in a video game in a Japanese setting in ancient Japan. Well, semi-ancient Japan, because it's 1860 something. I'm sold. That's all I need, man. Like, I don't want us as a people to get into this thing where other people's opinions weigh so much more than what our own thoughts are that we don't even bother to think them. I don't want that to happen. And the gaming community has a problem with that. We all kind of get on board to blaming the developers and these companies, and we just mutually agree that they're all trash, or this one's trash and this one's good. And I think it's whack, man. I remember a time in video games, in the history of video games, where you just bought shit and played it and rented shit and played it, and you just, some games were amazing and you're like, where did this come from? Some random ass game would be the most amazing game you ever played. And some bargain bin game could be your favorite game. And some AAA game is just not, you don't like it. Like, I was never a fan of Final Fantasy when it was on the PlayStation. Final Fantasy 7, I was never a fan. It's not a bad game, it's a great game. I probably would play it now and love it, but back then I wasn't a fan of it. But I didn't think it was trash, and I'm not gonna bash it and whatever. I don't think that's necessary. Like, this game is great. It's a great game. Graphically, like I said, Team Ninja has an aesthetic that they have. I expect that from their games. So I'm first of all, I'm 36 years old. I am taken back by the graphics of shit, PlayStation 3. Some PS2 games are still amazing. I'm like, how is this even? Somebody was at a computer and a drawing table and, you know, with all this software building this world, and it looks almost real. And it looks real enough where you can convince yourself that you're there while you're playing it. I'm sold, man. I don't need you to just be the most cutting edge graphically game. I don't need that. If a game calls for that, okay. I remember seeing Gears of War for the first time. Cutting edge graphics, Xbox. I was like, okay, the main thing of this game is how impressive the graphics are and a few mechanics of the gameplay. That's what's gonna sell this game. That's why people love Gears of War. But what about Zelda? Zelda has never been the most graphically impressive game in any generation it's been in, but it has always been the most amazing fucking game ever. But it doesn't have to be a graphically impressive game, even though it is, because some games don't have to be graphically overhauled to be graphically impressive. This game is not graphically impressive, but it is graphically satisfying. It's fine. I remember pixels, 16-bit, like I remember all of that. So when I see games like this, I'm in the world. I'm already in the world. Sometimes I like to see the imperfections in video games. I like to see the pop-in. I like to see little glitches. Sometimes I like that because it's a video game. This is an experience that you only get inside a video game, where a character will fall through the floor and like fly up in the air 1,000 feet and die right in front of your face. It's just random shit that happens. I've seen some glitches in this game, but it's a game. I don't care. It's a video game, man. Like if it's a glitch that makes the game unplayable or makes the game, you know, unbearable, then yeah, okay, that's something. But there's glitches in every video game I ever played. So I'm not bothered by stuff like that. I'm not bothered by pop-in. I'm not bothered by ray tracing or whatever the hell that is. If the game looks good enough for me to be in the world, I'm fine. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by like getting out the matrix, man. Like, just enjoy it. Just enjoy the game. Like, I look forward to this game because, one, I draw a comic about a samurai. So most samurai open world games, if I can get my hands on them, which is not a lot of them, but if I can get my hands on them, just samurai games in general, I try to get my hands on them because games actually work for excellent reference pieces for me, especially when you can take screenshots and, you know, you got a camera mode, which this game has. It's called photo mode, where you can just kind of take like a photo of anything you do in the game, like a still. It's really cool. Ghost of Tsushima had the same thing, and I use that a lot too. So for reference purpose, I was just excited. Secondly, like I said before, this is my favorite history. This is my favorite era in the history of the world. Is the Bakumatsu period in Japan. It's the period when the samurai class was dying out. I mean, literally, we're in the last decade of the samurai, possibly the last 5 years of the samurai class period. And it's a very interesting time because Japan was trying to modernize itself. It was opening foreigners up to trade. It was trading, started negotiating with America. There was a lot of mini wars going on and little stuff happening. There's a lot of animes based on this period. Ronin Kenshin being probably the most famous one. But you know, you got Samurai Champloo is another one, which is probably my favorite anime of all time. So I was on board. I'm like, I get to play Samurai Champloo basically, you know. And I mean, like, I like it, man. I like the game. It doesn't have anything in here that I would say is new, but everything that I like that I've already experienced is here. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out if I like this more than Ghost of Tsushima. but they feel different. So I don't feel like I have to necessarily compare it, but they feel different. But I like Team Ninja has a charm to it that I like. That most other companies just don't have. Like, they have this, like, you can tell it's Japanese. It's just this little stuff. Like, there's like this thing in this game where you find cats and you just pet them. And it's just little stuff like that. Just I like. You know what I'm saying? Or Team Ninja does this thing now in their games where, in their fighting games like Neo and Rise of the Ronin, games like this, where when you walk up to an enemy and they see you, they'll like just stare at you, especially the powerful ones. I've seen this in other games too, but I really like this. They'll just kind of stare at you, and they'll know you're there, but they won't like draw their sword yet. They'll like wait for you to move, and then they'll attack you. I like stuff like that. It's cool, man. And the combat is just, oh my god. I mean, you really, really feel cool in this game. I will, if not to keep comparing it to Ghost of Tsushima, but Ghost of Tsushima is a Akira Kurosawa film in a video game. If you can compare it, it's very realistic feeling. It's very, it feels like a movie. It literally has a mode in it called Kurosawa mode. So this Rise of the Ronin is a Japanese anime samurai TV series. So, what I'm trying to say is Ghost of Tsushima is Seven Samurai, right? Ghost of Tsushima is a Seven Samurai movie. Rise of the Ronin is Rurouni Kenshin. You know what I mean? Or whatever your favorite anime is. It's an anime. It's very like, it's, you know what I mean? It's a little more fantastic and, kind of like extraordinary and all of that. You can see by the gameplay. So, I don't want to like belabor the point that I'm trying to make. Go get the game. It's fun. You're gonna like it if you like this kind of stuff. Don't listen to what people saying. Get it for yourself. And while you're at it, go to yasukecomic.com and pick up issue 1 of Yasuke the Black Samurai out right now, which is what this character is. It's Yasuke. So go get it. yasukecomic.com. Bye.